right, welcome back to Real Talk with Nathan Najib. Today we'll be doing the November property market wrap, and we'll also be discussing where we are in the real estate cycle, interest rates, and we have a few subscriber questions.
It's good to be back. It's good to be back. Telling it how it is.
How it is, the uneducated economist.
Uneducated.
Here he is.
We're proud of it.
Yeah, you are. We are. Sorry, not just you.
Absolutely.
All right. So let's get into it. In November, what trends did you see emerging? You see more buyer activity? How are the homes selling?
Yeah. Increase in inventory. Plenty of properties coming to the market, and a bit of a all sort of circumstances. People having to have sell their houses. There is your normal mum and dad trying to upgrade or downgrade or whatever. And I feel like with the inflation coming lower than 2%, I suggest the next inflation will be lower than 2%.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a little bit of a positive energy, which is fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. Do you reckon that's anything to do with Donald Trump?
I think partially. And since he's come in, the economy has got better in America. The stock market has got better. What was that thing that people work with, the alternative to cash?
Crypto?
The crypto,
Yeah.
thank you. The crypto has gone up substantially.
Yeah.
And it's some positive vibe. And I mean, the guy knows he said he's gonna put stop to wars, and he's already been in negotiation with Ukraine and Israel. So
Yeah.
I think it's positive.
Okay.
Positive, yeah.
Nice.
Positive, yeah.
So you're seeing a bit of positivity in the market. You talk about the real estate cycle a lot,
Yeah.
and this is something that we've talked about in our past YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Where do you think we are at the moment? And actually, first, explain what it is, and then if you can tell us where you think we are in the cycle.
It's important for people to know, because I say whilst there's positive vibe in the marketplace because of Donald Trump coming back to being selected and inflation low, it takes time for stabilization. It doesn't happen overnight. Whilst other people, they talk about, it's all happy days from here. No, it takes time for people to save their money. And, we've spoken about in the past, predict.
Prepare, persevere.
Thank you. Persevere.
I've got you today.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We persevere. Now it takes time and people need to persevere. Some people may not be able to persevere these hard times. So it will take time for it to recover, but there's some positive vibes out there. So just going back to what you see, the cycles in real estate, it's the cycle of real estate in general, 4 to 5 years. The cycle was expansion, summer, or peak, contraction, fall, or trough, or winter. It's usually 4 to 5 years or 8 to 10 years. The cycle goes through. And it takes 8 to 24 months of correction, usually by some anomaly or GFC or credit crunch. And we've had that since 2022, right? Because we had a recession over and over again a couple of times, and now 2022 brings it to 2024. Now it's 18 months, maybe slightly over 18 months. So it could be another 6 to 12 months for us to get out of it, and then the recovery usually is could be another 6-12 months. So by 2026 onwards, we might see the 2 to 4% healthy growth that we've spoken about in the past.
Okay, so it might be flat. It could go down. You think? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so because people are still struggling, there might be more buyers, but there are people still struggling. Those people need to either save up or lose money and get out of it, and then it will take a little bit of time for stabilization, and then the healthy growth will come back. It could be, like I said, mid 2025, maybe early 2026.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to predict exactly, but it's good for people to know that, because a lot of the news reports now is positivity. They're saying it's going to go up next year and it's going to flourish again.
But didn't they say that last year?
Yeah, they said that last year as well.
And the year before?
Yeah, probably.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
so-
definitely said it last year.
Yeah.
They said it was going to be a 7% increase, some banks
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
some developers out there. So, yeah.
You know what, Bobby? What I say is like you've gotta get your information from right places. Even then, fact check it. Check it. If it's somebody saying, let's say I've got friends of mine who are developers, I've got friends of mine who are mortgage brokers. If they saying it, why are they saying it? Right? Are they saying it trying to sell you some townhouses or some houses? Are they trying to sell you mortgages? Are they trying to sell you real estate? Or they actually have got some past truth that they've said, and it's come truth, and they just giving you what we call the real truth, is what we believe we do, and see if you look at their past records, right?
Yeah. Just on, because like you said, everyone, they kind of have their own agenda, and they'll push that agenda no matter what, because they need to make money, they need to feed their families. But I do have a question here regarding these free services. So what would you watch out for when working with free services such as mortgage brokers or working with developers? You know, there's a few in Christchurch who will sell developments.
Yeah. So what I do, how I look at it, right? I deal with mortgage brokers. I deal with banks every day, right? I look at it. I do my own study. I talk to the professionals, and then I'll make my own educated decision. I know a developer. What does developer want to do? Wants to sell me his townhouses. Wants to sell me his houses. If I'm getting involved with a builder wants to build me a house. A butcher wants to cut meat. A real estate agent wants to sell me a house. But is that the right thing for me to do? So the beautiful thing is like there's that many podcasts, that many books that you can read and make your own educated decision. Don't just make a decision because somebody is trying to sell you something, right? And the financial industry is full of people who are fast speaking. They want to get you these deals, but they've got hidden agendas, which makes sense if you're running a business, because most businesses, all their interest is about the shareholders and how they make money, right? Your interest is not being first. These are not bad people, but they got families to feed, right?
Yeah.
What I say is, and the way we like to do it is like, we the byproduct. If we people to tell people the truth, which we do, I like to say we've created something which is special, and we're never going to tell people that was what's best for us first. We the byproduct. We win. That's just how it works. But to come back to answer your question, just you got to make your own educated decision. Don't just depend on these free services, because at the end of the day, they trying to feed their family. You want to make sure, if it's a mortgage broker, for example, you're going to talk to a couple of banks, get the best deal for yourself, right?
Yeah.
So that would be what I would do.
Okay. Great advice. So just on the real estate cycle, where are we? We're in the trough kind of, and then we're flattening out for the next, 6-12 months.
Yeah. So what happened was, I'll go through the cycle the last real estate cycle, economical cycle, right? So the last economical cycle was overextended. It started 2009, 2010. That's when the GFC hit. 2008, 2009, 2010. The peak was 2007, 2008, Bowie. And then that extended up to around 2022 when we hit the peak again.
Yeah.
Right? So it went right through, and that's about 12 years. Usually, the cycle 4 to 5 years, 8 to 10 years. But that was overextended. The reason it was overextended is why? Because the pandemic came, they did a lockdown, momentarily everything stopped, and then they opened the doors, right? That is a disaster for inflation, meaning people don't do anything and all of a sudden they go and spend money, right? And then they printed a whole lot of money, which means that there's heaps of money in the economy. Now, that's the reason it was extended till 2022 March, and then in March the contraction started, the fall started, and then we still in that part of the cycle, and I feel like mid 2025, as I said, would be the trough, the winter, which is the coldest day, as they call it, and then towards, I suggest 2026, when we're going to start recovering, meaning at the next part of the cycle, the expansion was spring.
Yeah, back to the healthy growth.
Yeah.
So, I mean, right now, if you were interested in buying a home, you probably are going to buy at a decent time, though. You may not hit the bottom. You can never time the bottom perfect. It could be the bottom now. You never know. But it seems to me from what you're saying, it would be a good time to purchase, and then you can profit in the next 5 to 10 years.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what I say is like buying a property. I talk about this, and when you talk to astute investor, they talk about time in the market rather than timing the market. So just avoid buying in the peak. We were telling people when we doing our market reports in the peak 2021, 2022, just to stay out of the market because the market is absolutely insane. So avoid buying in the peak, and then from here on, the market doesn't bounce back like this. It takes time for it to recover. So now or in 3 months' time, 6 months' time, it's still going to be pretty much where we are. It's not going to be not much would have changed. So you can buy now and then you just sit on it for the next, like I said, 4 to 5 years, another peak, or 8 to 10 years.
Okay, great. And another hot topic at the moment is interest rates. The OCR, they'll be releasing that tomorrow, actually. So by the time we release this video, it will be out. I believe it's at 4.75%. What are you expecting? And then I've got a subscriber question after this.
4.75% for an interest rate is where it's at?
No, the OCR.
The OCR
Yeah.
is 4.7.
And then BNZ has the lowest 6-month mortgage rate at 5.99, I believe.
Right.
Percent.
If you look around, you can probably do cheaper because I just fixed one not too long ago at 5.65. So once again, do your research, talk to the bank, get them to fight against each other, because in this market now, you can go and bargain.
Yeah,
Like
that's
when
good
it's-
advice. Yeah.
So you can go and find yourself. You should be able to get somewhere around mid fives, I suggest.
Yeah.
The OCR is where it's at. So what happens? What is OCR? OCR is official cash rate, right? So the reason the official cash rate increases is because the government or the Reserve Bank want people to leave the money in the bank. So they don't want to spend that, put in the economy. So if I've got money, 100,000, I'll put in the bank, I'll get 4.75% at the moment.
Yeah.
Remember back in the peak, it was almost 0%. You get nothing.
Yeah.
So that was encouraging people to spend. So why do I put money in the bank at getting 0%? Then why would I want to do that? Why don't I just go and spend it? Buy a car or buy a house or whatever. Ideally a house, but people just kept on spending because that was the case. So they're increasing the OCR so people can keep their money in the bank. Wealthy people keep their money in the bank. So why do that? To slow the market down.
Yeah.
Right? So now they're slowly decreasing that so people can start spending to the market, so the market can start going back. So when the indication is when the interest rate goes down and the OCR obviously goes down, they go in hand in hand, that is a sign of the government and the Reserve Bank encouraging buyers or people to put your money back in the economy.
Yeah. Interesting. Great explanation. So off the back of that then, there's a subscriber question from, I believe it's Thomas. Do you have an idea on how low the interest rates will go and a rough time frame? So let's say in the next, this is, before you say anything, very hard to predict for a starter.
Yeah.
But yeah, where do you think they'll be in the next 6 to 12 months.
I can guarantee it will never be a 2.19% again.
Yeah.
For a long time.
Yeah.
Because 2.19% was just absolutely insanity. We will be in 6 months. Like, an average, if you look at right across the years that I've been in business with, and I'll go further than that, the interest rate, I reckon, at around 5 to 6% is pretty average. So it won't go much lower than that, I suggest. Maybe 5%. I suggest we'll stick around that kind of interest rate, and
For like 12 months.
I think so, potentially longer, because you don't want it under that, because if you go under 5%, the market revs up, right?
Yeah.
And they don't want that. So the interest rate around that kind of area, around 5%, that's where you want the interest rate. You want the inflation around under 2%.
Yeah.
You want you want the housing supply to match the housing demand.
Yeah.
And you want the unemployment under 5%. That's the healthy economy, and that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. That's how it works.
Yeah. So, yeah, sorry to those who feel like they're going to get even down to the 3%. Like, that's very low.
You won't get it 2%.
I've still got a friend on the 2.19%.
Is that right?
Yeah.
How
They
good?
they locked it in. I'm like,
Did they?
that was smart. That was a smart decision.
Like, what way could it go though? Like
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
smart can you be? Like, it
Well,
can't go more than listen to 219,
Yeah,
right?
I know.
Fix it for the next 50 years.
Tell you what, in the future, I'll remember that. I'll fix it.
There's a bunch of things though in the future you would do, right?
Yeah.
As soon as they print money, you buy a whole lot of houses, right?
Yeah.
Before the market
Yeah.
takes off, right?
Yeah.
So there's a whole lot of lessons that we've learned, but usually people unfortunately forget, because the same thing happened in 2007, 2006. I wasn't around. But yeah, it's heaps I learned, man. I'm telling you.
Humans are emotional beings, so at the end of the day, logic doesn't always.
Yeah, don't get into FOMO like people did in
Yeah.
2021, 2022. They're kicking themselves, I'm telling you.
All right, next question. Just in regard to your mortgage rates and mortgage approvals, what tips would you give to someone? Because we still got the banks, they have those restrictions in place. People are still struggling to get approvals.
Yeah.
So what tips can you give to someone who's looking to purchase in the next 6 to 12 months?
That is, I can answer to that, because what happened was 2008. I just got into real estate business and I wanted to buy a house. Number one, I wasn't in the business for long enough, so I couldn't buy a house. Number two, I didn't have 5%
Yeah.
deposit.
Is that all you needed?
That's all you needed back
Yeah.
back in the days. So what happened was, you needed more than 5%, and then they eased it up, because in the peak in 2007 they raised the interest rate for the market to slow down, and they also made a broader restriction like they have now, right, to slow the market down. And then, so in 2008 when I was looking, the restriction was still high, and then the interest rate was still high. So, but I kept on saving, put on money in my account, and then eventually it came down. You could buy properties at only 5% with 5% deposit. So I ended up my first home. So I'm suggesting to this gentleman here, if the banks are saying no to you now, keep on saving, work hard, put it aside. Like I said, the market's not going to pick up like this. It will take time. Soon as the restrictions are eased up, then you can go to the bank and borrow some money and buy a house.
Yeah.
Because when the market gets tougher, then they turn the clock, right? Turn the thing around, because that's how the game is played.
Yeah.
They make it easier for people, because okay, now the market is so tough, the price are down as we wanted to get down. Now let's turn the tap back on.
Mm-hmm.
Then they make it easier. The banks, the government, they make it easier. So maybe at 5%, it's just a matter of time for you to be able to buy at 5%.
Yeah.
So that's why I say the market hasn't hit the bottom, because those restrictions hasn't been lifted.
Yes.
Makes sense.
Yeah. I wonder when they'll get lifted. So, but your tips, save as much money. Also, when banks are going through your bank account, they're looking at subscriptions, car loans, like all these liabilities. So
Right.
go through your bank and think, how can I cut these out? Because that will impact your
True, your
approval.
borrowing
Yeah.
capacity. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. So you recently sold a property to a developer. You had the price guide 475 to 545,000,
Yeah.
and then you sold it to the developer for in the 700s, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's interesting to me. So they're obviously thinking about the future. So what should developers consider when purchasing land right now?
Wise developers
Yeah, why are they doing it now?
are buying houses and they're land banking it. But those developers got to have houses, and you don't pay that kind of money that the guy paid. I don't want to say his name, but the guy that paid for this little place
Yeah.
for 730,000. That's crazy money. You could have bought a lot cheaper if you may have waited or not even paid this kind of money for this property, because could have potentially got it cheaper. But what happens is, like, developers, astute developers, what they do is they buy when the market is tough and then land bank it, and then they start working on it in the background rather than spending too much money on it. Then the next peak they end up selling it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, people trying to make money quick buck. It sounds bloody good to me, right?
Yeah.
buy a property, and I know, I wish it was that easy, right? But it isn't. Smart developers, the people that are successful long term, they're long term thinkers in real estate, in anything, right? In life, right?
Yeah.
But the developers that come in, they're trying to make money like overnight. It doesn't happen. You might fluke it. A bunch of developers came in, they fluked it. But in the peak, right?
Yeah.
They did. They paid a whole lot of money for a piece of land, and then all of a sudden they were lucky enough to get the consent and everything, and get the property subdivided, build houses on, and sell it on in the peak. But then a lot of developers that we know that's going broke now, right?
Yeah.
We know a bunch, right? There's plenty. So just being mindful of what you're paying for properties. But once again, like, look at the market. Talk to the right people. Don't get excited. Don't get the FOMO.
Yeah.
Because everybody else is making money, I've got to make money too, right? Smart developers always land bank long term.
Yeah, it's interesting now though. There's so many developments in Christchurch, so many townhouses. Like me personally, I'd be like, well, there's so much competition for this type of home that I'm building, so it's going to have to be different. It's going to have to be unique, and yeah,
you're smart. But and what I'm looking at though, you know how we talk about the 5 variables in real estate: average prices, how much they're increasing. If they're increasing double digits, I'm stepping back. I'm watching things like double digits is no good. 2 to 4% is a good healthy growth, right? Then number of homes sold in that 12 months, and then supply of inventory. How much supply is coming to the market, and then mortgage rate fluctuation and affordability, which is inflation, unemployment rate. Those 5 variables you got to watch. Now, that brings me back to you saying supply, right? Now, the supply, you've got that much supply now, in particular in Christchurch, and not that much demand. Now, who the hell is buying all those townhouses?
Yeah.
All those houses, all the development that's happening all around Selwyn, Wamakariri, even Central City, even in Kashmir, all those areas. Who's buying those things, right? So another reason I'm saying the bottom is still to come.
Yeah.
Because all of these supplies, even if there's more demand, they make it easier for people to buy. There's going to be that much supply.
Yeah.
So there's going to be some good deals for people to have.
Really good deals.
I think so.
Like if you want to buy a townhouse and you want that convenience and a new home, and you're a first home buyer,
Man, you can get some good deals.
you can get some really good deals.
Some good deals. You trying to make
and
sure
do your own research.
Exactly.
Don't go to a development company like I did.
And no, well, what happens is, like I said, like, these guys are not bad people. But if you catch somebody as naive as you, when you were, you're not anymore, obviously, right? Back in how long ago you bought a couple of 2 years ago, right? As naive as the first home investors, they were trying to sell them the townhouse, right?
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if it's peak or not. But can they sell you a townhouse today?
Oh, hell no.
No. you'll be bargaining, right? You'll be like, I'm not buying it. You give me the price that I want to pay for it.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's some good. You'll be able to get some good deals, but don't be naive in trying to buy into, like you said, right?
Yeah.
It's, and as I said, in the business of finances, there's some sharks out there. Just keep an eye on it, man. Like, just keep an eye on it. And it's just like any business, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, in our business, there's a lot more than the ones that want to do good by you.
Correct. Yeah. Brilliant. Well, I'm going to wrap it up there, Nathan. 25 minutes. Do you have anything else?
It's been a good conversation,
Yeah.
I think. I mean, I've wrote some notes that we've discussed in the past, and I really think though, Bowie, right? If you go back, jump on our YouTube channel, listen to what we said late 2023 and early 2024, right? We said there's going to be chaos. And then what did everybody else say? Nah, the price is going to go up and
Yeah, they did.
come and buy our houses.
They did. And I don't think we need to even push this anymore. I think people, when we look at the comments, they're realizing this. And that's like the objective of the channel, is to help these people, educate them, give them the truth.
Remember what we said? We said that we're not... If you tell the truth for long enough and often enough, people will find that, this is the source of truth,
Yeah.
right? And we're just here to help people. Really, we are. We just want to give people the truth, give them the advice, because it's goddamn hard to find bloody truth in today's. I get frustrated because I don't hear the truth.
Yeah. Yeah. And this channel's also influencing other channels. I've noticed they're starting to tell the truth now.
Goddamn about time, man.
So it's good, and there is other channels out there that will help you with that. So anyway, let's wrap it up there. Please subscribe if you enjoyed this. We also release these on Spotify. So if you're driving to work, you can search as Real Talk on Spotify and listen to this audio.
And we're doing the prediction. I think you had something planned for 2025, right?
Yeah, so we're doing the big 2025 house price prediction.
Just like in 2024, we said what's going to happen, and it's just exactly what's happened. We're going to do exactly the same thing. We're going to give facts. We're going to give the figures, and let 2025 unfold.
We are, and we're gonna not call out a few people, but
Are you going to do that?
No, we're not going to call. We're not going to call them out, but we'll call out a few, let's say, banks and other organizations that said, "Hey, this is what's going to happen in 2024," and we'll show exactly what happened.
Absolutely.
So it's going to be good. 13th of December, I think we're releasing that. So.
Can't go wrong with the truth, Bowie.
Yeah, you can't, Nathan. You cannot. All right. Thanks.
It's a good day.
Thanks, everyone, for listening. See you later.